call this February 5th work session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First order of business is we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Mr. Hammock, all in favor? Passes 4-0. Next, we have Superintendent's report. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, board members and community members for joining us tonight. A few things on the superintendent's report. I want to point you out that it is National School Counseling Week, and remind the board that we have 21 outstanding counselors throughout our 12 schools, and I just appreciate the outstanding work that they do. I think Steve has put some stuff out on social media celebrating them, and I know that I saw several additional posts today from the schools celebrating our outstanding counselors too. So appreciate the great work that they do. And if you get a chance to see them out in the schools, please pass our appreciation along. It's also CTAE month, Career Technical Agricultural Education, and just wanted to point that out and thank our CTAE teachers and for the work that they do, not only in the classroom but also the extended learning opportunities that they provide nights and weekends and many other areas. Just as a reminder, we have agriculture, business, computer science, early childhood education, engineering, finance, graphic design, health science, and marketing are all offered through our CTAE programs. And we have over 100 of our students that participate in work-based learning initiatives through these programs. I look forward next week, February the 15th, to celebrating our STAR students, along with all of our schools in the county, both public and private. And the board is looking forward to attending that on February the 15th. As we celebrate lots of things going on this year, we also are beginning to prepare for next year. And kindergarten registration, believe it or not, starts in less than a month, March 4th through the 8th. Be online, and then we'll have screenings the latter part of March. And so we're excited to welcome all of our new students. The kindergarten teachers and our administrators tell me that once they come to registration, the biggest hurdle next is that they think the next day they're supposed to start kindergarten. So that's always fun. Speaking of partnerships, Walton EMC, you may have seen this as well on social media. We had the empowerment grants. So we had 11 different projects, 18 different educators, for a total of $78,000 through those grants for our schools to again extend learning opportunities. And we just appreciate the partnership with Walton EMC so much and all that they do to support each and every year. And while they were there awarding the grants, they were busy also telling our educators how they could receive more grants next year in some of the same areas. So they were not only awarding grants, but giving some advice along the way. I want to congratulate our leaders and staff. As you may have seen as well, we were presented the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders Vision Award, and that cites school systems that are committed to encouraging and supporting teachers, principals, and district office staff in professional learning. And so appreciate that these leaders not only are working each day in the building, but they're also looking at trying to get better. And we want to continue to support that and really value and appreciate the umbrella organization for all of the educational leadership associations in the state of Georgia, recognizing Oconee County Schools with that acknowledgement. Speaking of acknowledgments, I want to congratulate Dr. Mike Eddy. I see Mike out there. He was named a finalist for GASSP Middle School Principal of the Year, and that award will be presented later in the month as they determine the overall Principal of the Year, a distinction that I believe Mr. Carter received while he was at Oconee Middle School a few years back. So good luck to Dr. Eddy, rather. Don't let me insult you with Mr. Now.
I'll let it slide.
And appreciate the good work that he's doing in opening our new school and the leadership he provides. Winter sports, I was telling Ms. Argo before we started, we have 35 athletic trips this week. So we are in the midst of winter sports. Wrestling, swimming, and basketball are starting to hit their playoffs and wrapping their regular season, but at the same time spring sports have started, and I think that's the same at all of our levels. We've started soccer, track, lacrosse, a variety of different sports. Tennis teams play each other this week, so if you're out looking for something to do, just drive by one of our schools and I can assure you there is an activity or game taking place. And we look also forward to celebrating a bunch of accomplishments at future board meetings. We've had several district, region, and state accomplishments here lately. Everything from one-act play, technology, band, athletes, and young Georgia authors. So, as typical, it will be a very busy spring in terms of recognizing our outstanding students and the educators that support them. So that concludes Superintendent's report, unless there are questions.
Thank you, Dr. Branch. Next, we have presentations and discussions. First, we have teaching and learning report. Welcome, Dr. Stansel.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Branch. The February Teaching and Learning Report contains 2 items of information and no action items. The first item of information is an update on the Georgia Student Technology Competition. The Georgia Student Technology Competition is a statewide competition where students in grades 3 through 12 compete in a variety of technology categories to showcase their digital creativity, innovation, and leadership. On Saturday, January 30th, the 25 Oconee County Schools district winners participated in the Northeast Georgia Regional Student Technology Competition hosted by Barrow County. Of those students, we had 18 first place winners and 5 second place winners. The first place winners will move on to participate in the state tech competition in March. A huge thank you to Tony McCullers, our Director of Assessment and School Improvement, for organizing and leading this charge for our school system. The second item of information is an update on our strategic planning process. As you can see from our calendar, we are making our way through the process. Earlier this month, we had our strategic action, or earlier last month, in January, we had our strategic action team meetings, and now the goal areas, the leaders of the goal areas are meeting with their groups to develop their goals, initiatives, and action steps. So that concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Is on the technology awards, will those students in all grades, or is it concentrated in one grade, certain grade area?
So a mix of grades. So we had some that were elementary students, some that were middle, and some that were high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So grades 3 through 12 can participate. Yeah.
Anyone else? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have technology. Welcome, Dr. White.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. Technology has 2 action items for next week's board regular session meeting. The first item are teacher laptops that are scheduled to be replaced based on our replacement cycle. Oconee County Schools posted a request for proposal for these devices on December 8th, 2023 and closed on January 12th, 2024. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve Virtucom with a bid of $84,138 for 111 laptops. This project will be paid for using ELOS and general fund dollars. The second item is a new data backup solution that will provide data backup of critical systems. Oconee County Schools posted a request for proposal for a new data backup solution on December 8th, 2023 and closed on January 12th, 2024. The superintendent's recommendations for the Board of Education to approve ProSys with a bid of $90,879. This project will be paid for using ELOS and general fund dollars. That concludes technology's report, unless there are any questions.
I have one question. On the data recovery system, will it also be effective in the event there's a data breach into our system, or you have one of these bad actors that come in and try to take over your system? Is it segregated enough to be able to assist in that?
Yes, these backups are immutable, which means the data cannot be changed.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have a question also. Can you describe the capabilities and measurements that are being taken in our new instructional support system to videotape or live stream our meetings once we get in that building?
Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna have multiple cameras, either in the ceiling or on the walls, in the boardroom of the ISC. We'll also have stationary microphones for everyone that's up front, all the board members and Dr. Branch. Then we'll also be live stream ready as well.
What about if we have a huge crowd? Is there any way for overflow that they can hear it if they're out in the hall or wherever?
Yes, ma'am. There's several conference rooms or meeting rooms outside of the boardroom that are overflow rooms in the event we do have a high attendance evening. And that board meeting is designed to be streamed in the building itself as well.
Very good.
You didn't get a chance to go on the tour we took
I didn't.
a month or so ago. I would encourage you to go take a look at it. It's pretty impressive, and it'll look probably even look more like a real building if you see it now than it did when we saw it. But Ryan he can show you a lot of those specific things that they've built into there. It's pretty, it's all over the building in every conference room, and it's pretty, somebody spent a lot of time thinking forward a long time to create the capabilities that are going to be put in that building, so it's pretty impressive.
I look forward to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Next, we have the Associate Superintendent's Report. Welcome, Dr. Leduc.
Good evening, everyone. The Associate Superintendent's Report contains one item of information and two action items this evening. The first item of information is our school nutrition participation. We're happy to report that we saw an increase in breakfast as well as lunch when compared to January of the last school year. The first action item is our FY24 bus purchase. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve the purchase of 5 48-passenger buses and one 72-passenger bus from Thomas Peach State Freightliner for a total cost of $732,954. This purchase will be funded through general fund and ELOS dollars. The second item of information is a North Oak County field trip. The superintendent's recommendation is to approve the North Oak County field trip Congressional Act Challenge to Washington, D.C. from April 8th through the 10th of 2024. Students will be presenting their app and representing our congressional district as the winners of the App Challenge. And this concludes the Associate Superintendent report, unless there's any questions.
Burgess.
Dallas, the bus purchase is
Yes,
6. Is that a complete purchase for this fiscal year, or do you anticipate some other purchases later in the fiscal year?
So that's a complete purchase for this fiscal year.
Okay, so that's the 6 is pretty much what we were counting on trying to get for this year.
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Student Services. Ms. Corngo, welcome.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. Student Services Report for February 5th has 3 items of information and no action items. The first item of information is our school choice window. It has closed. It was open from November 17th through January 19th. From this report, you can see we had 128 applicants that were looking to transfer. If you look at this chart, it's telling you from, such as Column Ferry, had 3 that were requesting a transfer from Column Ferry, but they also had 5 that were requesting a transfer to Column Ferry. So they had a +2 for the school year of 24-25, and that's how it goes down the chart. Dove Creek Elementary had 4 that requested a transfer, but they also had 26 that requested a transfer into Dove Creek Elementary, and so on. Anyone has any questions on that? Yes?
So we had a total of, if I understood you correctly, we had a total of 128 that applied
Yes, sir.
for to move one way or the other?
Yes, sir.
And were all 128 accommodated in some fashion?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So everyone that made an application or request
Received a letter of acknowledgement, yes.
requesting to move to a particular school was accommodated?
Yes. Most of our elementary students were either rising kindergartners that were looking to change, or they were new enrollments, or fifth grade going to sixth, which they would have to do.
Was there any pattern that you noticed as part of what all this movement is about, or is it just for all kinds of random reasons?
The most of the pattern was like fifth going to sixth, which they have to, and if they were already on the blue side, they wanted to stay on the blue side, so they put in, or if they were in eighth going to ninth, and let's say they were on the, the red side, they wanted to stay on the red side.
I see. Okay.
So that pretty much, there wasn't really much change.
Yeah, thank you.
So and just to make sure I'm following you correctly on that, so if you have a student who in 2022-2023 school year was in third grade, and then they were going on to the next grade level, they did not have to reapply, but that same student, when they would leave fifth grade going to sixth grade, they would need to reapply, so those numbers would be captured since they'd be going to a different middle school than what
Yes,
they were
sir.
zoned. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Second item of information is our health survey. Just to recap, we've had our parent survey that's been open since October. It still will remain open till March, but we have met the state requirements of 15 per school. We have well over that, 35 plus 194, depending on each school. Staff survey also was open in January and remains open. We needed to meet a 75% staff completion, and we were at 94% on that. Student surveys open today, February 5th, and school principals are making a calendar date to have students participate in that. And the last item of information is our FY24 LEA determination for special education. The Individuals with Disabilities Act requires that the Georgia DOE review the data from each local education agency and evaluate the local agency's performance in meeting certain requirements. I'm pleased to say that we have met 100% of all the requirements. You can see here on this sheet is all the indicators and the rating scales that they give us. We have received 100% on all of the indicators, meaning maintenance of effort, supervision, disproportionate, measurable outcomes, timely, meaningful target dates, and this is a trend we have had for the past 10, 11 years. So, any questions on that? If not, that concludes the report.
Thank you. Next, we have operations. Welcome, Mr. Ricketson.
Good evening. The Elkhorn County Schools, Elkhorn County Schools Operations February 5th, 2024 Board of Education report contains 4 items of information and 1 action item for the February 12th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. First, we have the energy report. It's been updated for the month of October? December? Thank you. Next, we have the lead custodian meeting. The January lead custodian meeting was held on Thursday, January 11th, and was hosted by the team at High Shoals Elementary School. The team discussed restroom cleaning tips. Our custodial teams are being commended for their rigorous work, ensuring that our schools are clean for health. Next, we have construction update. First, we have the new instructional support center. This is a photograph from the back of the building. As you can see, the windows are going in. The brick is going on the front of the building, leaving only one side left to do brick. The roof is dried in, and drywall is being installed on the inside, along with continuing rough ends for mechanical, HVAC, audio-visual, and all the systems going into the building. Michael Bridge Elementary, as you can see, it's looking really good. We're doing final cleaning now. We are still waiting on the generator to arrive. It'll be done in plenty of time, though, for us to open for the new school year. We're in really great shape on that building. Next, we have Rocky Branch Elementary renovations and modifications. I have an action item on that that'll come up in a minute. We did receive proposals on January the 25th for that, and again, we'll be presenting action item in a minute. Lastly, on construction, we have the district-wide generator project. We posted that on January the 26th, and proposals will be due on February 23rd. We'll be bringing the results of that proposal to the February board meeting for action. Transportation update. The Transportation Department coordinated the following field trips over the past month: 28 field trips, 58 athletic trips, 16 special education trips. Total number of buses deployed for trips were 111 for 4,723 miles. Finally, we do have one action item, and that is for the Rocky Branch Elementary School renovations and modifications. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve Amacher Brothers Construction for the Rocky Branch Elementary School renovations and modifications project for a proposal cost of $2,637,000. The estimated total project cost, which includes design services, is $3,111,660. This project will be funded out of general fund and ELOS dollars. And that concludes the operation report, unless there are any questions.
Have we used Amacher Brothers before?
Yeah, well, since I've been, well, these are what I know of. They built Duff Creek Elementary.
Okay.
Since I've been here, they've done the addition at Collin Ferry Elementary, the addition at High Shoals Elementary, and the addition at Rocky Branch Elementary.
Fred, remind me, what's the start and estimated completion date for this Rocky Branch project?
Once you guys raise your hand, they're going to get really busy. They will begin construction on site the day after school is releases for the summer break, and they will be finished by July 15th.
And they are the lowest, but I mean, there's a scoring system, right, that's involved. It's not just always the lowest bidder.
Correct. There is a rubric that we put out with the advertisement for proposals. It's a qualifications-based selection where price is one of the qualifiers. The price is 30% of all the points. There are points based on history of work with Oconee County Schools, their financial reports, their safety rating, how they intend to approach the project, basically their methodology for this project. So there's a number of factors that are considered in the process.
I want to go back to the Malcolm Bridge addition that's almost through. Do you anticipate the end of the year before the teachers leave for the summer that they would be able to move into new classrooms, transfer their materials?
That is certainly a possibility, yes.
Okay.
We're actually receiving furniture a little earlier than we thought we might. They've done a really good job.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have communications. Welcome, Mr. Colquitt.
Thank you, Ms. Argo, board members, Dr. Branch, good evening. The communications report this evening has two items of information. The first is our social media update. I'll do the math for you. The 3 social media platforms, on average, for any post we put out, 7,499 impressions. So I'm going to get my mother to start clicking on things a little bit more so we can get to 7,500, make the math a little bit easier. But we're really happy with the numbers. We continue to see growth in impressions. We continue to see growth in followers, and we thank the community, the parents, the students, the teachers, even other districts. We're seeing them following us as well. So we're pleased with that. Our newsletter that goes out once a month also garnered 7,600 opens. So from a combined standpoint, our message got out to 15,000 shareholders this year, this past month, and we're certainly pleased about that. Any questions about the social media before we move on? Okay, and next up is our highlights video for January. those photos also appeared on social media this past month as well, so we're, again, excited to be able to tell all the good news that's going on inside our schools. The highlight of any day for me is a chance to go over and spend time with our students, our teachers, and our staff, and just the fine work that they're doing. It's just an honor to be able to put that out for them. Any questions before we close the communications report?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. We do have a need to go into executive session and need a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described in the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish.
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, we'll take a couple minutes to clear the room and return for executive